Yo, what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 460. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
What's up, people? Just fresh off the 4-hour extra live stream that appeared on last night from Dave Wonder, and back in action. Let's answer some questions.
Good stuff. Adam Vale.
How you doing?
Brett Murdoch.
Yo, what up, people?
And Brian Manjoma.
I did not see I did not see Marvels in 3D.
Oh, in 3D, yeah. By the way, you guys saw?
Brian,
yeah. Uh-oh.
We helped to break records.
We did. We did.
Yes, we did.
Did you see Kojima's tweet?
That movie came out?
Manny, you're muted.
Oh, you mean the one? You mean the one that said saw the Marvels on IMAX 3D? That
yes. One. But literally before that, he had a tweet about this other movie he saw. It was a huge fucking thing, that he wrote like half a page. Then I saw Marvel in 3D. But yeah, the movie's bombing as expected. Anyway, let's get into it, man. We were actually just talking about this right before. Logic wins. I got to give you a shout out. Thank you for asking this question at the very last minute, because this is going to get spicy right now. Logic Wins starts us off tonight. Again, we're going right in, people. Although Like a Dragon, The Man Who Erased His Name has released alongside mostly positive critical reception, it's clear that Yong Yea was horrifically miscast as the English voice for Kiryu. Who do you guys think would be the best English voice of Kiryu? We'll get to that part later. We got to talk about the Yong Yea shit, because this was what dominated Twitter the whole weekend, right? So obviously the Man with His Name came out, right? And clips of Yong Yea as Kiryu popped. And I'm not going to mince words. He is fucking terrible. Horrible, right? So people were, cooking him on Twitter, and he blocked a shit ton of people. Anybody that said anything negative, even if they didn't at him, blocked. He was just blocking everybody. And
interesting.
which obviously led to more people trying to dunk on him, which led to him blocking more people. And yeah, the acting was not good. It was horrible, and people let their displeasure. Obviously, you played in Japanese, you don't got to worry about that shit. But it was pretty bad. And my question would be, as I asked on Twitter, I was like, this. I said it. This is what happens. We get a YouTuber to voice a fucking video game. It is what it is.
I mean, he's
Imagine
done
me voicing a fucking video game. I'd be terrible at it.
Here's the thing. Like, he has done voice acting before. Like, he's been in anime and stuff like that. Like, he's in JoJo's.
I don't mean you're good.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, it also could also be a situation, another situation where he got bad voice direction, or they used takes that he didn't want to use, whatever. But at the same time, it's like that brings up the question I have always had with him, and it's the fact that, like, okay, so a lot of his content is built off of controversy in the video game industry. Oh, this happened with this studio, and mistreatment of workers, this and this and this and that. Going head to head with Jason Schreier, who essentially trying to they're all in somewhat of the same business. The thing about it is conflict of interest. What happens when you are in a thing, like, let's say a game that you're in and you're a well-known YouTuber, and you're like, what happens there? Like, because you can't be on both sides of this thing. If something really fucked up happens at the studio that you just so happen to be a voice actor at, will he be just as candid with it as well?
Yeah. And, I want to highlight this, and I want your thoughts on this, man, because you were talking to me about this before the show. Kishak says, Yong Yea caters to a toxic fan base that show up for his reactionary content.
I would say that I hate to say that about him, but I feel like a lot of his content is always about that. It's always sort of negative sounding commentary. Obviously, it's information that's that sucks about the industry. But you don't see, the only times you ever really see him talking about something that's really good that's happening is something that he has like an interest in, like if it's Kojima or if it's something else. But for the most part, it's like, oh, this thing is all fucked up in the industry. Oh, this thing is all so he is essentially parlayed his like his channel, which was very much about the controversy of Kojima and being a Kojima fan and stuff like that, to this sort of wider thing, like how the game industry is all screwy. But again, like what happens when you're putting out that visual, that side, you're essentially playing both sides. You can't really do both. Unless his content was a little bit different, like that other guy who played the squirrel. He's a YouTuber too. He played the squirrel in was it God of War? That guy is also a known like YouTuber, but all his content is only really voice acting stuff.
Yeah. So that was the big deal going on there. He was just on a blocking spree, and then obviously that's just like blood in the water. So everybody started going after him and stuff. But yeah, you're right. And then the other thing is, and I'm by the way, for you guys who don't know, we've had Yong Yea on the show. We've interviewed him many years ago, right? But again, this is Throwdown. We got to keep it real around here. He made a multi-tweet thread or whatever, and he said that he earned that voice acting gig. I'm sorry, no, you didn't. You got it because you're a YouTuber. You're telling me that out of all the people that applied, you were the most qualified. I find that extremely hard to believe. Manny, you're muted.
I don't think it's a factor of so much that he didn't, go to what does they call that? When they sort of casting, like, or doing test things. But I also do definitely think that being a well-known YouTuber is also part of it. But also at the same time, that's a gift and a curse, because like, let's say again, his content was was even more controversial. Like, they probably wouldn't even hire him.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a weird sort of situation that I think he is in. I've heard his work before on like other projects. They weren't bad. But whatever, I haven't heard him as a Kiryu for this situation. But at the same time, it's like, at the same time, I don't like. The one end, I'm like that. I know, from what I do know about him, he's always wanted to get into voice acting. The YouTuber thing was really not a thing that he really wanted to do. So
yeah,
but
and I want to go back to your earlier point about conflict of interest. A lot of his videos are about him playing Kiryu.
Yeah, they've like as of recently, he's sort of gone full, like, full Kiryu mode. Like, he literally went out and bought a suit that looks like the Kiryu suit, and it's a little weird.
Yeah.
Like, again, like, obviously, that's, what is it, the role of a lifetime, to play such an iconic character. I could think of only less of like being able to play Solid Snake as a new person and voicing. But at the same time, it's like, I would say that's seriously unprofessional. Like, obviously, promote your stuff, promote your shit, but you don't need to wear the suit. You don't need to do all that other stuff. You can just be like, hey, look, I'm in this, and buy it if you want or whatever. But I feel like it's a little odd that he sort of went for broke on the whole, like, essentially dressing like the character and doing all kinds of other things as the character, which is weird.
Yeah.
Can I just add this for slight context? Again, I'm not for or against this. This is just in case you guys didn't know. Something similar happened. Well, in terms of the character that voiced them did all the dressing up and all sorts for the game that they were in. For example, the voice actress. No, I think it was either the character. No, yeah, the character model for actually in Resident Evil 4 remake, she did all the dress up, and she did quote unquote actually plays Resident Evil 4 type thing. So did one of the character models for one of the female operators in Modern Warfare. I don't remember what her name is because I don't play it, but yeah, she also did the same thing where she put up in her live stream saying that as her character name, like character X plays Call of Duty type thing. So it seems like this thing is a trend that happens sometimes. I don't know why, but it's.
I mean, like,
so maybe Yong Yea is just following that trend.
Yeah, but here's my question.
Maybe.
Well, here's my question: do those two streamers or YouTubers, whatever, is their primary content reactionary content that criticizes the industry?
I would not have any idea since I'd never.
I highly doubt it. I think that's the
that.
difference right there. You know.
Well, like, isn't like Justine the voice of what's her face? What the hell is her name from Horizon Zero Dawn?
No, is she? Justine
No,
is the voice
no,
of
the
Aloy?
the girl who plays Aloy was like some sort of YouTuber or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's remember. Justine's cool, by the way. I've met her a bunch of times already.
I think you're talking about Ash Plays from game trailers. I think it was.
Okay.
Yeah,
so she's Aloy.
Ashley Birch. Ashley Birch.
Yeah,
she's an actual like voice actress though.
She used to do like a couple of comedy skits with her brother on game trailers. Oh my gosh, game trailers, man!
Yeah,
I remember that
Ashley Birch
old
has
school
actually proven herself. That's
skeletons of the past.
That's the difference. Yong Yea's fucking terrible. I'm sorry, but here's my question. Maybe the guys in the chat will know this, because Like a Dragon that has English voiceovers, right? And Kiryu was in that game. Why didn't they get that guy? You know,
wasn't that the cocaine issue?
No.
One of the guys couldn't come back.
No.
It wasn't Kiryu's actor.
You're thinking about Judgment. Yeah, because again, I don't play Yakuza games with English.
They don't have English.
They do.
No,
well,
they do.
Not the main ones. The other ones.
Doesn't Like a Dragon have English?
Yeah. Like a Dragon is all
Kiryu is
English.
in the game. Kiryu is in the game and he talks. So
Lost Judgment.
So what happened to that actor? You know, why didn't you get? Well, you know why? Because they wanted to get a fucking YouTuber. That's
Did
why.
they promote him as a YouTuber? Did they promote him like a movie does?
Everybody knows who Yong Yea is. You know, he's a YouTuber.
I mean,
he's a fairly popular.
Everybody knows.
But that's the thing. How would you know if he's there unless he's promoting it? Usually,
he is.
That's what I'm saying. Usually, these outlets promote it.
They actually did promote him.
Yeah, Sega did it too. They promoted him.
Yeah,
they said Yong Yea from Yong Yea. You know. So yeah, that's.
Here's a thought, Tony. Yeah. And again, I don't know if this is true or not, so it could just be completely made up. So take that as you will.
Yeah.
But this could be another situation like Ada Wong in RE4 remake.
Oh, you think so?
Again, it is current year, so that being a thing would not surprise me.
Yeah. Anyway, so Yong Yea, take it in the chin, bud. This is how it is.
Here's the thing, like, I mean, this is probably his biggest, one of the bigger roles that he's ever done. To be honest, he shouldn't even just be touching any of the social media. He should pretend that it doesn't even exist and continue to post whatever content he has got on there. Going on a blocking spree doesn't make anything better.
Yeah.
You know, like all it does is just like, you know, again, like, sure, you're gonna have criticism, just like everybody that hits it wrong sometimes, right? But that just because that's happened doesn't mean you need to go through that process. He could just be like, all right, you know what, I don't need to look at this, and just continue to post his little videos on YouTube, which is his usual breadwinner.
Hirschak goes, you would think he would have a tougher skin being on internet for so long.
No, to be honest, I don't think
personal. I think that's what it is.
No, this is definitely a personal thing, but like I think the thing about it is I don't think he's ever received any sort of like real criticism as far as that, like directly at the work that he's ever done. Maybe that's a few people, maybe Schreier did call him out at one point, but you know, that's a bit of a different animal. This is like this is the thing that he really wants to do. The YouTube thing is not the thing he wants to do.
Yeah.
So receiving criticism on that is, it just has one of those things that happens. Maybe he made the wrong acting choices. Who knows? But anyway, he really needs to just, regardless of what he thinks about it, he really should just leave it alone and just let the thing pass over, because the more attention that he gives to it, the more people are going to come straight at him.
Yeah.
So,
and obviously other YouTubers are making bank out of this thing, making videos about this. Him going,
oh yeah,
yeah.
He's become now he's become exactly the thing that he's always called out, right?
Yeah, he would be talking about this if he wasn't involved.
He would be talking about it if it wasn't involved. Like, let's say if it was a voice actor for a popular franchise, or you remember when some of the drama with Bayoneta's actor came through, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about that too.
Yeah. If he wasn't involved, he would be talking
theoretically,
about this.
this would be content on his channel.
Yep, because it's content on every other video game channel.
Yeah. And,
and they're all saying the same thing. Yong Yea sucks. He goes on a blocking spree. That's what really cinches it. The fact that he just went out of his way to block everybody, and that's how I learned about this, man. Because when I was making a trip to Mohegan Sun, I fire up Twitter and I just see a bunch of random people. Yo, what the fuck? I got blocked by Yong Yea. I'm like, why is he? And then I saw the clips. I'm like, oh shit, Yeah. So there it is.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. All right, let's move on because we do have a good amount of questions tonight. Kiss Shack, you asked us about, is Rockstar going to tone things down with GTA 6? We covered that on a Thursday show, so go check out that segment. So we'll move on here to Alpha Chuck. BioWare released a new Mass Effect teaser on N7 Day, which gave us zero new information on the next game. With this game likely being several years away and Dragon Age Dread Wolf stuck in development hell, things do not look good at BioWare. How much faith do you have that either of these games will be worthy of carrying the legacy of their respective franchises? Listen, man, I've been saying this for years, right? If these games don't do well, BioWare's done. EA is brutal when it comes to this shit. You don't perform, you're done. So I really fear that this studio, EA will do what it has done to many, many other studios in the past and kill BioWare, if they don't perform. Because think about it, we already had two bona fide flops and then one very controversial release, right? The controversial release was Mass Effect 3 to eventually fix that. But then you had Mass Effect Andromeda, fucking flop with controversy, Anthem, so they're on thin edge. They're on thin ice, excuse me.
You don't even have to flop for them to do it.
No, you don't.
Black Box did Skate, and they did Skate 3, and that made over $10 million profit, and they still disbanded them. They're like, fuck that shit.
Yeah, EA doesn't give a fuck, so if neither of these games do well, it's over, So that's it. Next question here from Mr. Alpha Chuck. I love seeing the handheld gaming resurgence led by the Steam Deck, now with worthy competitors with the Legion Go and ROG Ally. I'm with Tony in that I would need a more significant upgrade to get me to pull the trigger on buying the next iteration of any of these consoles. What specific improvements would make the next iterations of these consoles a must-buy for you? Adam, I mean, you got the OLED, so you're good with that, right?
Yeah, no, the OLED, the battery life, you have to be a power user for these things to appreciate it. If you're a casual, then there's no reason to get it. Because you're like, well, I barely use my shit now. Why the hell am I going to get this? Because all the things that they're promoting is for someone that uses it all the time, that would notice these issues, that would notice the shortcomings that it has, and that's what they addressed. So, I mean, it's fine for me. Like I saw instantly once they said the type of screen in that they were changing the battery out and some of the other little things like with the Wi-Fi 6E support, so that way it's faster to download things to it. New speaker, the bigger fan. I mean, there's a bunch of other things, and the ease of opening up, taking it apart and doing those type of things. That's great for tinkering. If you want to swap out the SSD later on, if I ever want to get a 2 terabyte, that'd be a lot easier to do. But for people that just bought it and don't really use it, then no, just hold off. Wait till they put a new processor on them, because that's the other thing. They're not using the latest version of the Snapdragon that's out there. They're using an older one still. And so when you did it, you did the review for the Legion. I mean, that one definitely can play. You're doing it. That could definitely handle a lot more than what this can, but you still have all the issues that Windows it sees as a feature, which is all the problems with drivers and compatibility, and it's just not the ease of use. That ecosystem, that the Steam OS, that's golden right there. And the fact that they constantly update it, and just for not just for the OS, but for the games to work on it. And that's a big deal right there, just to make sure that, hey, you guys are having issues with this, don't worry, we're going to get it work. Yeah, The Last of Us came out, ran like shit on PC, and even worse on Steam Deck. But you know what? They got it working, and it got verified, and I played it all the way through on my Steam Deck. So they put that time and effort to make everything work in their system. It's not like, oh yeah, here's some little shit we created, now go out there and play. No, they keep supporting it and listening to the audience. You're bitching about this, you want this new feature, boom, it's in a preview. Go try it out. All right, there we go. You want a little record feature? All right, try this, try that. So it's one of those things. So if you're not really using it as much, no need to get this. But if you're using it all the time, then you're already sold on it, because you already saw those shortcomings. You're like, man, I wish it had this. I wish it lasted a little longer. I wish it wasn't so damn loud. Well, there you go. These issues have been addressed. Is that enough to upgrade for the people that use it all the time? It is.
Yeah. I'm going to answer this in two parts. With the Steam Deck, as long as it has the number 2 after it, I'm there. Because I'm assuming it's going to have, obviously, a better processor. I'm wondering if it's going to be like Zen 5 by then or something, AMD. But the next proper iteration of Steam Deck, I'm already sold. When it comes to the Windows-based ones, my thing is, we discussed it a million times. Adam already talked about it, game optimization, right? We need companies to actually make games tailored for that specific hardware, and we need like a Windows type of interface that works well with these handhelds, because it just feels like you're playing on a handheld gaming PC where the buttons sometimes work and sometimes don't. It actually feels more like you're playing on a fucking Windows tablet most of the time, because the only way you could properly interact with it consistently is with touch interface. But it's like I have these buttons here, and they only work when I go either into whatever interface is in the game, like Armory Crate or Legion Space, or the actual video game. Like if I'm on the Windows desktop, those fucking buttons don't work, Sometimes they work, sometimes don't. It just decides when it wants to work. So game optimization, better UI, just everything is well integrated, because, again, when you play Steam Deck, and I'll give it respect too, when you play Switch, those things are tailor-made for the hardware, the UI, right? Not so with Windows 11. And again, it's just frustrating to see these systems. They have the power. Like on paper, the Ally and the fucking Go are twice as powerful. In our testing, when we've put these shits in fucking Geekbench, they're twice as fast. But if the games aren't optimized, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter. So I want to see better game optimization when it comes to Windows 11 handhelds. But when it comes to Steam Deck, Steam Deck 2, I'm there. Because it's great. I don't play that often, but I like what they're doing, And when I do play, it's a very seamless, flawless experience, very enjoyable experience, And obviously the fact that, you can optimize it and get all this other shit on there is cool too. That's a little bit easier to do on the Windows handhelds. I will give it that. On Steam Deck, it's a little bit finicky, Adam. It is easier to...
What part?
Getting like retro games and shit. You got to do all this other stuff. Like if you're familiar with that, but obviously on Windows it's easy to do it, or easier, I should say. Yeah. And obviously installing Windows into Steam Deck and all that. But I like where things are going generally. I think it's cool that we have proper handhelds, that we don't just have to be stuck with the shitty Switch. You get something real for adults. But so I'm happy with it. But yeah. But I will not. I need to see better optimization for me to spend my actual money, because right now the Ally, it's just in the office. The Legion Go will just be in the office. I don't feel compelled to buy these things. As interesting as they are.
Thursday can't come any sooner.
Thursday?
I can't wait. Thursday's the day.
What's happening?
Thursday's when that's when you can buy them.
Shit.
Thursday, I'm trying to try to get that the transparent one, the translucent, because now that's the one. Now remember, I put on my D brand. That's the skin that I put on there, and I think that's the most popular skin a lot of people put on theirs. And they were like, "Hey, that's what you want. You want to see the innards? All right, then there you go. Here's the shell. It's all innards." And that's great. So Thursday is the day.
But Adam, moving it up to a little bit though, like with the question, what do you want to see in the next Steam Deck?
Oh yeah, better processor. That's what I mentioned.
Yeah, that's just
better processor. That's it. But I think why they did it this way, because one, they listened to the community. These are the major gripes people had. The screen doesn't look that great. Battery keeps dying. That's the joke, right? Wow, you got a great hour worth of gameplay there. But everyone, like the Go and the Ally and a few other ones, they're all using the latest version of that mobile chipset. And I think what they're waiting for,
was an AMD Ryzen Z1.
Ryzen Z. But I think what they're probably doing is just waiting for the next one, or maybe just a different chip, maybe something custom. Because it would make no sense if they came out and was like, "Oh yeah, we have that chip too now." And it's like, all right, well, you have that chip too. At least now what they're saying is, well, we have an OLED HDR screen. And that's the only thing. None of the other ones have that. They're all using LCDs.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, all right, well, but if they get that chipset, something brand new that's just, I don't know, they can play.
Yeah, well, you mentioned Snapdragon, right? Qualcomm, they're coming out with the Snapdragon X Elite chip. They're advertising it for laptops, but I don't know why you can't get it into a handheld.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I mean, that could be something that they're going to test out for the next one. And right now, man, I was really surprised. So Digital Foundry did their review today. It came out for the OLED, and holy shit, they gave it. They basically call it like the second coming of handhelds. Like, this is the GOAT, and I agree for other reasons, but they were like, yeah, you can't beat it. And they were showing comparisons like performance and screen, and it actually does do a little bit more boosting because of the faster memory. Faster memory just helps certain games processor load up a little faster, and you get some of the frames and stuff. And they showed a lot of Cyberpunk side by side, and showing how just little stutters have now been cleaned up and stuff. So it does div a little bit, but I was like, that's not that big of a deal. But it's a screen. It's a nicer screen, and then the added battery. IGN talked about how they ran both of Cyberpunk and on the old one and the Ally, the OLED at the same time, and let them running. And you actually got like an hour and a half more time with the new battery, which is a big deal for that type of game. So I was like, oh, okay, so it's not just bullshit talk. It's not like, oh yeah, we got a bigger battery, and it's like 15 minutes later, oh, but you got 15 minutes more. No, an hour and a half, that's a good chunk time right there. So we'll see, but they really praised it. They loved it. They were like, yeah, you're doing everything right. I was like, all right, well, I don't know if this is, if you're new, if you don't have one, yeah, it makes perfect sense. Go get one. But if you have one, and like I mentioned, if you're not really into it, not a power user for it, then you stick what you got. If you use it all the time, you don't need to be sold on it, because you're going to get it. Because this is like that's my main console. We've talked about it before. That is the main device that I use to play my games. Whenever I do reviews, it's like I'll get them the Xbox, because I can also do it on PC stuff. But my second one is always my PC. Like, hey, PC, Steam Deck. Even if it's not verified, I'll try to get it to work. I'll make some adjustments, and then I talk about it in my reviews. So I really enjoy my Steam Deck. I love it. Makes me happy.
Yeah. Brett, I'm assuming you're going to buy the next iteration of Steam Deck, like next proper one.
No.
No, not even like with a new processor, nothing.
I mean, it really depends. Like, are they releasing this shit like an iPad? Because if so, I'm just going to skip a generation.
Yeah. No, I'm not talking about the OLED. I'm talking about like because this is just an iteration. I'm talking about the next proper generation.
Yeah,
if it's like
Steam Deck too.
The proper once every 5 to 10 year kind of upgrades. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, but I need a processor. I want a better GPU. Like, you just need to make it a little closer. Like, it doesn't have to be current gen, but like, I don't know, man. Like, I understand price point and everything like that. And I love my Steam Deck, but it is about the lowest power gaming thing I will accept. Maybe I'm a fucking elitist or whatever. It's just anything lower power than that just feels like it's chugging and it can't take all the games I want. It can't play the kind of games I want. So
no,
like,
I wholeheartedly agree with that. That's why I don't like the Switch. You know, I think yes, I agree with you. For me, the Steam Deck is the absolute lowest I will accept. You know.
Yeah, and it's when it released, it was what was it 2 or 3 generations behind?
I don't know, but it was able to play.
It was able to play God of War. The first God of War from 2018, as comparable as a PlayStation 4. So I guess one generation behind.
No, that's like I'd like
because Miles Morales was able to play. Yeah. That's fine.
What happened, Brett?
What I'm trying to remember, like I'm pulling a blank on like the 70s and the 80s. What the fuck is the precursor to that right now? I'm having a brain fart.
The 60s.
So it's the 60-80s, the 60-80 series.
Oh, you mean the chip? It's Zen 2 architecture. That's all I know. I don't know what the equivalent RX would be at that point. I can look that up though.
I think that's what
you're asking. That's what you're asking, right?
I think we're running the 40, 60s, 40, 70s, and 40, 80s. We're not up to the 50, 60s.
Oh, you're talking about, well, that's NVIDIA. Yeah, we're up to the 40s right now. Yeah.
We're up to the 40s. Okay, that's what I'm talking. Like, that is a good benchmark, or not even benchmark, just a good watermark to go by on that. Like, so we're on 40, 60s, and I want to say the Steam Deck runs on equivalent architecture of like the 1080s, right? So
I'm gonna look it up, but that feels right to me. You know,
I think that's what it is. If I remember correctly, I think that's what it is. So,
when you said generations, you meant like
graphic card generations.
Okay, not console generation. Gotcha.
Graphic card generation. The ones they release every couple of years. So if we're on the 10s right now, or if we're on the 40s and the Steam Deck is on the 10s, that's too many jumps. I'd like to see. Fuck, I don't know. It's probably unreasonable. I'd like to see him put the 30 series in the next Steam Deck at least. And
this is interesting. I gotta look this
up. What's that?
Apparently, it's equivalent to a GTX 650 Ti.
GTX 650 Ti. I don't even know. Was that before the current naming?
That's before. But
I was
like,
that's like PS4 level.
That's what?
It's like PS4 level, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, here we go.
This PS4 was like around 750, give or take.
Okay, so So here's another different answer. This one's from Steam's community. So take it how you will. It's equivalent to a GeForce GTX 1050. That sounds more right to me. That sounds more right to me.
Because it's running Spider-Man and Miles Morales.
Yeah. That sounds more right. A 650. I don't know about that, bro.
No, I wouldn't be able to play that. You can't play those games on a 650.
Yeah, 1050 sounds more correct to me. Yeah. Either way, a couple generations back. You're right, Brett. A couple generations back.
So and so if we're counting down from the 40 to the 30 to the 20 to the 10, it's 3 generations, right? So I'd like less than that, I guess, is the easiest way to say that. Less than that.
The equivalent of like the 30 series, Brett?
Well, yeah. So like if
I'm with you on that one.
It's like let's say it gets released next year or the year after when we're running the 50 series cards, right? I would want it less than 3 generations behind, so that would put it at the 30 as a minimum.
Agreed.
I think it really comes down to battery. Now that I think about it, because if you have all that power, it probably wouldn't run well.
You need to be, dude. It's like a laptop, right? Like same rules as a laptop. You're gonna have to be plugged in, right? Like you have the power to go from point A to point B, but your ass ain't just sitting there unplugged for hours. Same with a gaming laptop, man. Like it will throttle your GPU if it's not plugged in. It will just straight up be like, "Are you gaming?" No.
Okay, but that defeats the whole purpose of it being a handheld then, because then it's like, well, you got to be tethered to the wall if you want to play this game.
I mean, not to a lot of people. Like, again, everybody with a laptop deals with that.
Well, that's a laptop.
Here's the thing, though, Brett. I agree with you, but people a handheld, you expect something different from it than a laptop. Like if you're on a gaming laptop, you know that motherfuckers need to be plugged in the whole time, right? With a gaming handheld, you have the expectation of taking it with you, but at the same time, I play my Steam Deck connected.
Well, I mean, you'll be able to take it with you, but like, do you really expect more than an hour or two of battery?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Not me.
People do. That's why
that's why
this one is 3 to 15 hours. I mean, that's because people want it.
No, because you go ahead, Brett.
Not if you're getting real power. If
Yeah,
you're getting real power, a couple hours.
Not me. Yeah, you're right. I'm with you on that one. Like, because I have some people complain about the Steam Deck, and I'm not going to come down on them for that. But for me, I'm like, no, I'm not going to expect this thing to play more than an hour and a half. Basically, just like a gaming laptop. Like, gaming laptop unplugged will not last you more than an hour and a half. If I get that similar battery life from a handheld, I fully understand that. You know, because unless you want to like knock the fucking graphics down, you know, there's compromises there. But no, I am that weirdo. I'm like, if I'm playing it, even with the handheld, with the Steam Deck, that shit's plugged in when I'm playing, you know?
Yeah,
that defeats the whole purpose of it being a handheld.
It does. I agree with you. Objectively, it does, but that's just the way I do things, you know?
Unless they don't want to call it a handheld and call it a portable PC.
Yeah, no.
But I
basically agree with both of you guys on this one, even though you're both saying two different things. But good stuff.
Adam, where are you playing away from fucking outlets so much? How many rooftop parties are you attending?
No rooftop. No, I just play it on the couch, or I play it, in the office. And
there's not outlets there?
No, I don't use it for the outlets. No, I mean, if I need to plug in, but I don't, and I also have a portable battery, so if any point, if it starts getting to that where it's draining out, then I just use my battery pack. But no, I don't plug it in. I don't need.
Here's the other thing I'm curious about, because like if my ass is sitting down to game, my ass is sitting down to fucking game, and if you give me a 2-hour limit on that, I'm like, bro, that's not enough for my session. I'm gonna sit down.
Then I'll do that on the console. Then I'll do that on PlayStation or Xbox or PC. But if I want that on-the-go experience, if I'm out or I'm just not at my desk, then that's when I take it out and that's when I play. That's what it's for. It's a handheld.
Yeah, but like, see, I'll take my Steam Deck and I will sit in a big easy chair with a fucking blanket with my feet kicked up playing on it in the living room. And like, I live alone, but like, holy shit, the options available to you with a second gaming screen, like, yeah, sure, go watch whatever. If I had a fucking girlfriend, I am maidless, but if I had a girlfriend, she wanted to watch some stupid fucking baking show or some show about a serial killer, because that seems to be the thing, I could just like chill in the corner and play, Dark Souls. Like that to me is what the purpose of it is it's a personal gaming machine. So anybody else can be doing whatever the fuck they want, right? But you can nobody's going to stop you from being able to play Elden Ring. All you need is a seat and an outlet.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Mob hits. I'm not going to do the sponsor questions. I'm going to take all the extra questions we got. Whatever. First question, simple one. Will the GTA 6 reveal trailer break viewing records? Who knows, but it's probably going to get a lot of views,
Yeah, I don't care, but
it's going to get a
Christ, the world is going
views.
to.
Yep. All right, that's a simple one. I don't know, but again, I don't know about records, but it's going to get a ton. Next one. Oh, Adam, get ready.
What?
Does Call of Duty need a new setting?
It's need a new setting and shit since the last one, and they talked about it, which is why they wanted to take 2 years off. But shareholders said no, they had to produce something, and the expansion wasn't good enough. So now we got this shit, and it's sad. It's sad because they're focusing so much on these characters, which some were dead and they brought back, and everything needs to be revamped, and that's what they need to break from. They were like, hey, we need to go back to the drawing board, just come up with something new. And remember, they were like, yeah, we're going to take a year off, maybe 2 years, but we're going to have a flow of content, maps, and expansions. Don't worry, you'll be good. Shareholders didn't like that. So now we got this shit. And then what's the gripe? All the campaigns too short. Oh, we got all the same maps, because they're all older maps, just revamped to look prettier, but it's nothing new. Pretty sad. Pretty sad. If you're really into spending all that time multiplayer doing something, you don't give a shit. You're gonna play there with your buddies anyway. But for people that were always looking forward to that new big experience, it's not in this because this was never supposed to be a full release, and that's the shame because now it's tainted. Now it puts that stink on it of like as a bomb. You know, throw the quotes up. Oh, this game bombed. And it's like, well. If it came out like it was intended to as an expansion, then it would have been acceptable. It was like, all right, 2-3 hour campaign, a bunch of revamped maps. You threw in zombies again. All right, why not? That'll keep you busy. That'll keep people playing. But no, they got greedy, and now it's backfiring. Now you got all this crap. So yeah, they definitely need to go back to the drawing board. But the problem is. Even with all the studios that they have and with the 3-year cycle from each studio that gives them 2 years to work on it, it seems like that's still not enough because we're still having issues where they're trying to figure out where to go. What's the new direction? How many times can you go back to World War II? That Vanguard was horrible. That was the worst one so far. You know, when they went back, it's like, no, we didn't need to do that. The Call of Duty World War II was awesome. That was great. Let it go. So then we get the Modern Warfare. We got Cold War. That was pretty cool. You had dialogue options. They were testing all these new things out, different endings, and it was great. And then they scrapped it, and then now we're back to this shooter on rails type of shit. It's like, what? And the same situations, the same characters running around. Oh, this guy's dead. No, he's just been in a prison. Why can't he be dead? Why can't we just introduce new characters? I guess it's timing. Everything's pointing to timing, but I agree. They definitely need to go to a new setting. Developers know they need a new setting. They don't seem to have the time to go back to the drawing board and create something new. And that's a shame. You know, but now that Microsoft owns them and they got fucking all these studios that we always talk about, we don't know what half of these motherfuckers are creating. Maybe they can throw some of that on there. But like, hey, you guys, what are you doing? I don't know. You know what? We do know. Come up with at least 3 new locations and settings and ideas and long-term stories for this Call of Duty franchise. Come back to us in a week or 2, right? And have something or you're all fired. Thanks. And then that's it. And then just move on from there because right now they're in a rut. Because this is definitely not Modern Warfare 3. This is still 2.5.
Yep. Damn. All right. There you go. Next question from Mr. Mob Hits. If you could go back in time and save/prevent something that Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo did that failed, what would that be? Example, if you go back and save and prevent the Sega Saturn from becoming a failure, how would you do that? I've talked about that specifically in the past.
Oh, easy. Oh, this is easy.
Go ahead, Adam.
It's easy. Gibson, don't create the Xbox One. Don't go down that road. Don't come up with that fucking VCR design. Don't do it. Don't do it. Stick with the same design. You fixed it. You finally got rid of the red ring of death. You figured out what the hell was wrong. And then just go with that and just give it another name or something. Remember, there was other names, people talking about different numbers and shit. But whatever. Just continue with that. Don't go with the TV. Just keep focusing on games and the studios and all that shit. They veered so far off with the Kinect and with pushing TV and, oh, look, there's a port. Plug in your cable box and do it. Like, what? We don't want this. And then forcing people to buy it, not having 2 SKUs, that was such a disappointment. And at the price point, because again, people were saying, what? Then we're spending an extra $100 for a piece of equipment we don't want. We didn't want that fucking Kinect. I don't care if I can talk to it and tell it to record and shit. I don't want it. But yeah, if I could go back for them, it's like, hey, don't do this. Don't do this. Just continue what you were doing. 360, give it another number, whatever, but stay same design. None of that TV bullshit. Don't force it Kinect. It didn't sell when it was by itself. It's not going to sell when you force it. Just stop. And then just focus there, and then that's it.
For me, I would tell Sony to not have proprietary memory cards for the PS Vita. That fucking killed the system.
Killed it.
That killed
it. It's too expensive.
Yep.
$100 for a 64 gig card. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so that's what I would say. Like, stop it. You know, Manny, what about you?
What was that?
What about you? You didn't listen to the question, did you?
No, I didn't listen to the question.
Yeah.
I was a little distracted.
What
was the question again?
If you go back in time and fix a mistake that Sony, Nintendo, or whatever did, what would it be?
Yeah, it would be Sega literally releasing the 32X.
Yeah, there you go.
That would fix that because it was like it was the total like the left hand not knowing what the right is doing, right? What 32X was Sega of America, right? That headed that project.
Yeah.
And
By the way,
Sega of Japan.
Sega of Japan forced them to do that.
Yes,
as the book revealed.
The thing about it is that they really shouldn't have done it. They should have really, or the alternative was, at least if they were going to be releasing these sort of things, giving the ability to play those 32X games on your Sega Saturn would have made it a lot easier on people. Because if you look at the amount of time that from the 32X
the Sega Saturn has a cartridge slot. Come on.
It has a cartridge slot that never got used.
Yeah, only for memory expansions.
So why don't you?
Yeah.
It was just for memory expansion. No, make sure that stupid thing runs the dumb 32X games, and they're able to run the run the discs, and then cut it.
Yeah.
It's
just that. Brett, what about you? What gaming mistake would you fix?
I'd probably go with the 32X. Like, was the problem exactly the 32X? Is that where it came in? Because I probably would have gone back and told them to merge the Saturn and the Dreamcast into one.
Well, the thing is, the Saturn came out in like 1995, and Dreamcast came out in 1999. So that's a big gap right there. So how would you merge them?
And you've done the research on this, so you know that situation better. But like when I was sitting in it, it kind of felt like, because the 32X came before both those, didn't it?
Yeah, the 32X came out literally less than a year before the Sega Saturn, right? Then the Sega Saturn did its thing for like 4 years, and then the Dreamcast came out, with completely different architecture. So there's too much of a gap in time for you to merge those two. I think maybe you mean merge the 32X and the Sega Saturn?
I was kind of thinking on like hold back on the Sega Saturn, ride the 32X a little bit longer, and then go directly into Dreamcast.
Yeah, but here's the problem though. Even though the Saturn was a failure in America, it was a huge success in Japan. So much so that in Japan, the Dreamcast actually didn't do well, partly because people were like, I got a Saturn, I'm good. There's a very interesting situation over there, and the 32X wasn't nearly powerful enough because it was a cartridge-based thing, as the Sega Saturn. I think we're all kind of coming to the same thing. The 32X shouldn't have existed. Shouldn't have.
A very close runner-up comes to Adam with the Kinect. Like, bro, like, just don't. Just, do you know how much pain and suffering you could have just resolved just by not fucking doing that? You don't even have to do anything else. Yeah. Right? Like you don't have to replace the Kinect with a fucking brilliant design or forward thinking. Just don't do that one thing.
That's it. Just keep it as its own separate device. If people want it, they'll go buy it. Don't force it on them.
Well, I would say nobody wants. No, it is too so. Like I understand the idea is good. I understand that there's an idea like before your time, and putting a camera in people's living room. It's not the time yet. People are not ready for that. Even now, in 2023, people are still not super cool with that. Yeah. I don't know why. Like the whole idea of, hey, let's put a camera in your living room watching you sitting on the couch. Like,
it was used in a horror movie. Remember Paranormal Activity? It was like one of 3 or 4 something, and they picked up a thermal of someone in the room with them while they were playing, and they showed it in like right behind them.
Yeah. See, there's nothing real good that comes from that. Nope. Also, like here's another thing, and I'm not sure if Microsoft knew this, but like I'm gonna spell this out for you. It's not a big deal anymore, but Microsoft. A lot of people that hung out and played Xbox all day, I know it's gonna be a shock, smoke weed, right? And they're not super jazzed about cameras pointed at them all the time. Also, does nobody get busy in their living room? Is that not a thing? Like, that's the idea of a camera pointing at you at all times. There's so much nope there. For so many reasons.
That's funny. All right, Brian, what about you, man?
The same thing. The whole Xbox One. It was a big mistake for Microsoft. Didn't quite work out at all. Basically, just get rid of Don Matrick 10 years prior, I guess.
All right, fair enough. Good stuff. All right, moving on here. Another one from Mob Hits. What are your thoughts on Mortal Kombat 1 having a paywall for in-game fatalities? Could this possibly lead to Capcom and Namco making this move as well on their fighting games? I can tell you that I'm a big fighting game player, and if I ever saw myself having to pay for a Hadouken out of the box, I would drop the genre in a heartbeat. I
haven't played that one. Is that what they did?
Apparently, I didn't know about this, but here's the thing. I expect a big backlash, so I doubt the other two companies are going to do any bullshit like that. You know, even though Capcom is infamous for having characters already in the disc and shit, you know, I don't think they're going to do that. They're not going to copy Mortal Kombat. I think people are going to be pissed off about that one, you know.
I thought everybody loved this Mortal Kombat. I would think that'd be huge news.
Yeah. Again, I'm just hearing about this. So, you know, if this is coming out,
I didn't know that.
I think it's probably going to blow the fuck up, you know? So we'll see.
Easy. It's like, can you imagine that? Does it happen in game? Like you press the button combination, it's about to pop, and it's like, now we're taking you to the store, pay $4.99, and you can see the end of this move.
Yeah, the fatalities and shit. That's great. Paywall fatalities. All right, here we go.
That's nuts.
Crazy. All right, moving on here. Ace Ali. He asked us about our Game of the Years, but we answered that before. And also, just wait for us to actually do the proper Game of the Year show, which will be probably less than a month, to be honest. All right, Jolly Yellow Nerd. One of his questions was, what game do you think was going to get snubbed at the Game Awards? We answered that in the previous episode. So his other one, this one's also GTA related. We have seen GTA 5 Online become Rockstar's cash cow. Is anyone worried that they are going to design GTA 6 around the premise of recreating the success of GTA 5 Online? Could we see GTA 6 go the way of recent Call of Duty games where the multiplayer is given so much focus on single-player story campaign comes off as an afterthought?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 100% yes.
Yeah.
That ease of integration, that's the way they're going to see it. It was like, hey, we're going to pull them in more. For those who were avoiding online, we're going to pull them in because we're going to integrate it into the main game. And that's the same shit. That's what's with this campaign for Call of Duty. That's what they did. It's Warzone. Pick up armor plates, pick up weapons.
I got worse. I'm just going to call it like I sees it. Straight up. Tony, how do you feel about the idea that they are inevitably going to pay less attention to the single-player experience to focus on the cash cow that is the multiplayer of GTA 6 Online, considering they have not once put out DLC or updates for the single player of GTA 5 at all?
Yeah, I mean, considering
they did.
For the single player, for the single player.
No. But they did add story. Brett is right.
They never added a single extra thing for single player at all, right? And to
answer for those characters.
Yes. To answer your question, Brett. See, I'm already worried about GTA 6. Going back to the previous question because of the comments they said. They said we don't want to punch down to marginalized groups. In the next one, I'm like, wait, you're the series that's known for punching everybody, and you're suddenly going to exclude a group. So that already makes me, have my spider sense already going off. And oh my God, I think they're going to do that. I think they're going to get a truncated single player game, and the big focus is going to be on multiplayer. And if that happens, I'm going to be fucking pissed. So that's the answer to your question. I'll be heated. I will not be happy about that at all. And I won't be happy about it because I see it coming. I see that shit coming a mile away.
You ready for the new female protagonist that I know is coming, even though I don't actually know is coming?
No, yes, you do. That got leaked already.
Oh, there is. Oh,
yeah. It's going to be a Bonnie and Clyde situation. You get to play as two characters. One's female, and they're already touting the first female GTA lead. God, even though homegirl from Chinatown Wars, but I guess we're not talking about that, right?
We don't know.
That's a spinoff.
Inconvenient past games.
Yeah, remember everything is year zero. So I don't know. We'll see. What the fuck was the question? I got mad, Brett. I forgot the question.
About integrating the online into games.
Yeah, no. The question was, will GTA 6 Online be the main focus? Yes, it will be. Absolutely. What a fucking shame, man. All right. Moving on here. Jay Shep in the house.
Real quick before we move on, Tony.
What's up?
But like, we're still playing it, right?
Damn it. I say damn it because you know my answer.
Yeah. You're like, fuck this game. Fuck this PC bullshit. Fuck this online only thing. When are we grouping up?
Hey, listen, Throwdown fans, get ready for those streams. That's all I'm going to say. Get ready for those streams. All right, let's answer some J-Sub questions, man. Got a bunch here. Nintendo and Sony are joining forces to create a live-action Zelda film. I'm pretty sure the film will have a somewhat original plot, but if you could choose the plot from past Zelda games, which one would you choose? For me, it would be Link to the Past. That was my favorite. That was my first and favorite Zelda game. Brett, I'm shooting this one to you first.
The Super Nintendo one. I really like that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, definitely the Link to the Past. Ocarina of Time is a great fucking story. It is a great story. But Link to the Past is a better one. And if you're doing it right, like, I want to see the Shadow World.
Yeah. I've only played 2 Zelda games like fully in my life, so I can't answer this.
I can't answer this either.
Yeah, who can answer this? Who else?
Okay. Do you need me to nerd out harder on this?
If Chris was here, he would probably.
Oh yeah, he would have.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody in this conversation should yell out Majora's Mask, which would be off of Ocarina of Time. So then you have to go into the conversation of like, well, do you do Ocarina of Time and then lead it into Majora's Mask? Because Majora's Mask is probably one of the most impactful stories of the series. But yeah, the three big contenders are Ocarina of Time, Link to the Past, and Majora's Mask. Everything else is, I mean, it's there. It's fine. It's good. But like, those are the big 3.
All right.
Some people might say Wind Waker, but fuck those people.
And Brian, I'm guessing you're in the same boat as the rest of us.
Yep.
All right, there you go. All right, we'll move on then. This one's interesting. And let me finish the whole sentence, the whole question, because I know someone's going to jump in. Me. Insomniac Games revealed that the next Spider-Man game will feature Miles Morales instead of Peter Parker as the main hero. Do you think this was Sony's choice, or did Disney pull the license for Peter Parker? Either way, do you see Disney allowing another developer to take a crack at Spider-Man Peter Parker? That's not how these things work. Man, you could probably speak to this licensing stuff.
No, it's not. That doesn't work with them switching out characters and stuff. No, the thing is that if it's a partnership and the license holder, obviously it seems like it's a joint venture between Insomniac and Marvel. But I think in general, and obviously Marvel would have their requests for certain things to happen, right? Because ultimately, since it's their Marvel Studios game division, they do have ultimate say as to the outcome of whatever the game is going to be. Even if the most of the control is within the other things, but they have like things. Oh yeah, hey, we want to push this character, or we want to do this thing. We want to have these things in the game.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, again, you could speak more to this. Peter Parker, because they've got the license for Spider-Man, right, and the Spider-Man quote unquote universe. They're not gonna just piecemeal go, okay, we're taking this character out. That doesn't generally work like that.
Well, no, I mean, here's the thing. Like, if there's another Spider-Man license that's being put out, there's a good chance it would be a different variation of Peter Parker.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the PS4 Spider-Man per se.
But again, I just want to drive to the point. There is no license, quote unquote, for Peter Parker. There's a license for Spider-Man.
Yeah, Tony,
no, there is a license for Spider-Man, and usually, if you're licensing Spider-Man, you're licensing everything that goes with the Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's how I understand.
Like you can't just license Wolverine.
Exactly.
Like, you
can license Wolverine.
Yeah.
And all of his which usually comes with the Wolverine franchise is all of his villains and stuff like that. But the crossover stuff is where it becomes a little bit murky, right? So if you got Wolverine, and you could theoretically have Wolverine, but no X-Men.
Oh, yeah, I like how you said it. He comes with his villains. We all know that. We all know superheroes come with their villains.
Yes,
they come with their villains.
It would be weird to see Green Goblin outside of a Spider-Man film. Yeah. So chances are, if you have rights to Green Goblin,
to see Venom outside of a Spider-Man movie, but they would never do that.
Well, the thing is, it's because they have the Spider-Man franchise, which includes a Venom, who is one of their villains.
Yeah. By the way, the reason I'm saying it is because I think the whole idea of Venom without Spider-Man is fucking retarded. Anyway, go on.
It's weird because it doesn't work. Because he's essentially palette swap Spider-Man. Like, he's essentially like the anti-Spider-Man. Why would you have the anti-Spider-Man in a film without Spider-Man in it?
Makes no fucking sense. You know.
Well, also, doesn't Venom develop like the initial muscle memory that he uses from then on? Like,
yes,
his humanoid form, the way that he flies around, the symbol on his chest. They're all kind of learned behaviors from his
Spider-Man shit. They're all
Spider-Man stuff.
But let's just remove that character from the Spider-Man. It makes no fucking
Then where the fuck did it learn all that shit?
Magic. Yeah. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, because all of the if you remember, all the symbiotes also don't act exactly the same. Or design wise, they also shouldn't look like Spider-Man. But they shouldn't, that's also
Well, that's just a big let's not look too close.
Theoretically, granted, Carnage is a jump. Like, in other words, he's comes from Venom, but all the other symbiotes that you ever see, they shouldn't look like spider people, like with their big bold circle eyes and everything.
Yeah.
The other J Shep just asked us in the chat here. Do you guys think Miles is a bigger financial draw than Peter Parker? Here's the thing. They're not making Miles the main character because of financial draw. I think you know where I'm going with this. There's a reason they want him as the Spider-Man instead of the...
Miles is black.
He's not black. He's mixed, but they put that Puerto Rican flag, so
he's for
advertising purposes, he's black.
He speaks a lot of Spanish.
He's more
might be horrible Spanish.
Listen, he's diverse. That's why. And if you guys saw the second ending trailer, you know who's going to be the other Spider-Man if Miles is going to be the main guy. That's all I'm going to say about that.
The guy from Haiti.
Yeah. So I'm not going to get into that stuff, but it's nothing financial. It's
I think in general, there's Well, I mean, it also could. They could also be taking some. I mean, I don't know what happens, but they could also be taking something from the, what is it? From the Ultimate Universe where Miles was the main character.
They are, but there's a lot of storylines to choose from. But again, it's. The reason they're doing that in this game is so that they can prop up kind of a diverse character, and so they can get all the draw of Spider-Man plus the bonus points over here. They're getting their cake and eating it too.
Well, you saw the Bollywood one. They have the Bollywood Spider-Man. They have the UK dude with the mohawk and that anime. They have Spider-Man for everyone. Everybody gets the Spider-Man.
Yeah, but the most prominent ones, the Bollywood one, the Miles Morales and Spider-Punk, they're all diverse casts, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So you can hit all of those diversity points and kind of get all those bonus points plus Spider-Man. And I know that sounds like fucking I'm wearing a tinfoil hat here, but
you are on the money.
Charlotte Weber, a paralyzed gay Spider Woman. Pan, I don't know what she's got a rainbow spider. They've gone off it's fucking bullshit. They've just gone off the deep end on some of the stupid. These are the people that made Snowflake and Safe Space. All right, you cannot deny that the industry moves to showcase certain stories and people so that it can beat the bandwagon about being how progressive they are. It's just a way to make money, and Not jumping to shadows. This is the company that does it blatantly all the time, right in your face, and think you won't notice. So, I, for one, am a little kind of fucking pissed off about this. It's kind of like the redheads. Like, where are all the fucking redheads going? And why do we keep writing Peter Parker out? Like, what the fuck's wrong with Peter Parker? He's a good character. Why do we need to write him out of shit? Why can't there just be other shit? Why do we get bonus points for, you know what the real fucked up thing here is? In a very meta way, people are touting themselves as heroes for killing Spider-Man.
I just want people to understand, Brett wasn't making things up. Marvel did create characters called Snowflake and Safe Space. That was a thing. They had a trailer for this. Let's move on before we get in trouble. Jesus Christ. Brian, go ahead. Yeah, finish it off. Yeah, go ahead.
A wise man once said to me, and I quote, "Put a chick in it, make her lame, and make her gay."
Oh, man. All right, no more pandering.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't want to get in trouble.
I mean, I don't know. I don't see it as that much of an issue because I feel like, it just goes along with the same line of things. They already sort of setting him up on his own. So, all right, we got a new Spider-Man. There could be a Spider-Man game that doesn't involve Peter Parker. I don't know what the deal is, but is what it is.
Also, can I just say once again, this is why I had that thought of the X-23 in Wolverine, because I'm like, if they can do it to Spider-Man, they can do it to anyone.
Yeah.
And
the funny thing,
Logan, you're next.
The interesting thing about it is, they've actually pivoted the opposite direction. So X-23, eventually became Wolverine. It didn't seem to do that well, but then now they gave her own name, which they should have done initially.
They gave her back her name.
Abby.
Yeah, now she's got her own it's not it's I don't know, badger or whatever creature it is.
Oh my
it's another
honey badger. Is it a honey badger?
I don't know what it is.
I don't know. I'm saying, oh my god, because that was a thing. Like she has a pet badger. She actually does. So that's probably.
But I don't know. It's either a badger or something like that. They renamed her to have her actual own real name now, as opposed to just being Wolverine.
She had her own name before, though.
Well, no.
Was she Wolverine?
She was. Brett, she was Wolverine, and everybody addressed her as Wolverine. Even people who called her X-23 an issue beforehand called her. It's just Wolverine.
Bro, what do they not understand about how names work?
Yeah. No, Brett, they do this shit all the fucking time. Or, excuse me, all new, all different. Remember that shit?
Let's also
Captain America, Hulk.
Captain America, Hulk, Thor.
Let me also add that Dakin was also called Wolverine as well.
Yeah.
When he was when he was on the Dark Avengers or whatever they were called.
Yeah, it's so stupid. Give characters their own names. Why are there three Flashes?
Oh, I mean, I can understand Captain America being a title like that.
Yeah, Thor.
That one,
Thor.
No, not Thor. You cannot give somebody. You can't. And the thing that weirded me out about this is they didn't just call somebody else. They took his name away from him. They didn't just give it to somebody else. They took it away from him. People stopped calling him Thor.
No. He got a name. He got a name. It was called Thor Odin's son.
They didn't call him Odin. They didn't call him Thor Odin's son. They just called him Odin's son. That's a fucking last name.
Yeah, that's not a name. That's the absence of a name. That's
he has no name. It's like, yo, what was his name before? Oh man, it's Odin's son. Oh, okay, yeah.
It's Tony's kid.
I don't know what his name is.
The one with the one green eye, blue eye. That weirdo kid. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, that's Odin's kid. What's his name? Odin's kid. Oh, Jesus wow. Okay.
Christ. All right, let's move on before I get mad.
I'm mad.
Yeah, next
you
question.
know what?
Let's move on. We got too many. Because we're gonna go down the rabbit hole. We got a bunch of comic book guys here. We could keep going forever.
I just say at this point, I just don't care anymore.
Yeah. Do what I do. Stop buying it. I stop supporting. I cut off all that stuff. I'm firmly listening to a very prominent comic book writer. I don't like it, so I'm not buying it. Anyways, move on. Sony recently patented a feature that will allow gamers to cherry pick their exact moments to replay a game. Sounds pretty confusing to me. Have you guys heard of this? Yeah.
Didn't they already have this?
We got The Walking Dead that's doing that. The new one, the new game where you get to rewrite the story.
No, okay. So let me read this because again, I didn't hear about this question. This is from Insider Gaming. In a new patent filed by Sony earlier this month, it was revealed that the tech titan plans to bring about a feature allowing users to cherry pick exact moments from which they can replay game. It's a feature that would empower users to track back through a campaign and select a specific moment in time to change a decision, re-experience something epic, or recount their steps without needing to replay entire chapters or the whole game.
Don't we have that? Multiple saves?
It's called multiple saves.
Yeah. That's
called
weird.
multiple saves.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we already have something like that. What the fuck are you talking about?
You just make a save right before the
shit. You know,
you make a save right before the final boss, and you make a different decision.
Yeah.
You know.
That already kind of.
I don't use it as well. I don't think I've ever really used it. My son uses it. Those cards that's in PS5 for games. Isn't that what that is? Like you can just click on You can just click on any of those cards and then just go back to that moment.
Yeah. It just puts you into the moment. They already have this.
So it's basically doing that without multiple saves, I guess. That's what it sounds like.
I don't know. I mean, the thing about it is that the cards doesn't have multiple saves either.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know of anything.
It has just different states.
So I'm
like the card.
A lot of people don't. My son was using it. I used to travel from different areas. Like I never paid attention to that.
I've never.
Yeah, like if you want, the one game I feel like that uses it the most is probably Astro's Playroom. But yeah, like not every game offers it. To be honest, it's probably mostly just the Sony titles, the PlayStation titles that use it.
Is it probably the companies don't know how to use it? They're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Mighty Nerd Manny did indeed get his PS5 Slim.
I do.
Yeah.
And I just so happened to have the Platinum in Astro's Playroom, and
nice.
I imported my game saves from Ghost of Tsushima, Death Stranding, and Guardians of the Galaxy. It did a weird thing. It didn't get my platinums for those for some odd reason. There's some stuff missing in them. So like I could be obsessive compulsive and just play those moments just to get the platinum again, or I could just leave them alone.
Wait, why didn't they? What do you mean? You got the platinum?
It didn't. Yeah, well, when you import your games, you can roll over your game saved over to the newer version of, if there's a PlayStation 4 version. So like Death Stranding,
yes,
you bring it. You can roll it over.
Manny,
Guardians of the Galaxy.
If you pop one trophy, the rest will pop.
Yeah. I had that happen for.
Mine. What's weird with mine, like it doesn't again, all of them appeared except for like a few.
Did they go in like success? Like do? Did they all start coming in?
They all came all at once.
You should have gotten all of them.
Yeah. Play one. Try to go for one of the easy trophies and see if that unsticks the other ones.
Because that's happened to me before too. We got to get one trophy and then the rest will show up. Like, oh shit, let's go.
Yeah, like I got most of the trophies for those games. The only thing is that that one thing I didn't do, those for some reason they're just a whole list of those things. So I could attempt to do it again, but I feel like I think they're just broken.
Well, just try to get another trophy.
I think if I just get one, same thing happened with Ghost of Tsushima, but it was just an easy trophy to get. All it was the one where you get you got to play the flute by what's his face's grave. But everything else, it put in most of the trophies, but it didn't include, but it didn't include the ones that I did toward the end of my trophy runs, which is fascinating to me.
That's weird.
So, we'll see.
Yeah. All right, got another one here from Jay Shep. Based on reports, Walmart and Best Buy are drastically reducing the physical media for Xbox. I know in Japan, physical games are still in high demand for Nintendo and PlayStation. Do you see retailers reducing physical media for PlayStation and Nintendo in the U.S. in the future, even if Japan continues to have high demand? What happens in Japan doesn't really affect us here, so it doesn't, it's two different markets. Yeah,
it doesn't affect us here.
Yeah.
It's two different markets. Like they literally in Japan, you can get like physical versions of games that are like DLC games. like that Strider game that came out probably like 10 years ago now.
Yeah,
but
it is.
Anyway, that game actually had a physical release in Japan.
Yeah. So yeah, what happens in Japan? Like, if there's more of a demand for physical games in Japan, that doesn't mean anything out here. It doesn't matter. By the way, just to illustrate a point. Oh, go ahead, Manny, and then I got to read some numbers here.
The only thing it means is that you gotta play the import game and see if you can snag the Japanese one, because it usually has the English in it.
Yeah. So remember, on the Thursday show, we said that basically for PlayStation, only 4% are physical sales. In Japan, total, if you combine the Switch and PlayStation 5 and 4 sales, it's 70% physical. So it's a different thing.
Yeah,
but again, what happens over there, and vice versa, what happens here doesn't affect what happens over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Good stuff. I like that question. And the last two questions of the night from Mr. Tumeke, who's been joining us all night.
What's up, Tumeke?
All right. Adam has another Call of Duty one, so get ready. With Call of Duty looking like hot garbage going by the reviews, 4 from IGN, 4 out of 10, damn. What does Microsoft realistically do now that they own the IP? Do they carry on as normal and let the COD train run on schedule? Or do they put in the brakes to try to correct its course? I'd assume they already have next year's game well underway and on track for a release, so do they let that run before doing anything? Great question. So, Adam, do you think Microsoft is going to interfere now? Like,
Well, remember that 4, then what they were giving, that was for the campaign. That the multiplayer wasn't released, and that's where the money is, because that's Warzone and that's all the other stuff, buying operators and stuff, and that keeps generating money. So the campaign. Shit, for the longest time, Activision wanted to stop adding a campaign. Remember, even when there was that one for Black Ops that they had production issues and stuff, and they're like, forget it, scrap that. We'll just throw in zombies. And we have the Battle Royale, and it'll be great. People bitched, but we've seen it, and we talked about this before. When you look at the trophies, it's always listed as rare once you get to like level 3, chapter 3, chapter 4. People don't play that far into it. They just say, you know what, I'm here to play, Shooter Man with my other friends, and I don't give a shit about this Unreal shooter thing. So that's not it. The only time that it'll raise alarms for Microsoft or any company is in the sales and the money. Yeah. If they see a drop-off with engagement, a drop-off with buying all these battle passes and the operators, which cost $20 a pop, if they see a big drop-off on that, then yes. And that was the whole reason why we got this full release, because shareholders were like, yo, this shit prints money every fall. Why are we going to stop now? Well, we want to see the story. Who gives a shit? Just redo the same maps. Just make them pretty. Do it. And that's exactly what we got. So it's all about the numbers. Because remember, there was that one, and I hated it, that one, was it Call of Duty Infinite or whatever, the one that had Jon Snow in it? Horrible. Yeah. Got review bombed. Horrible. Still sold. Still made buco bucks. Because people just play for the multiplayer. The story, they don't give a shit. They don't care. Some people do, but it's not the ones that are spending money. The ones that are spending money are the ones that are buying all the weapon skins and all the other bullshit to look fancy as they shoot other people. So that's the only time I see Microsoft really stepping in. Now, I'm sure they're going to step in to add support to better streamline the process and probably add another 1 or 2 more teams to assist, because it is such a big IP. And even though they have Sledgehammers, Infinity Ward, 2 more, there's 2 other ones. It's like 4 or 5 studios that are currently working on this cycle. They're going to have to add more and just keep focusing on it, because that's the problem. That with all these multiplayers, as we're seeing every year another game comes out, those servers are still on. You could still play some Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 and 2, the originals, and those servers are still on. And I know because I was playing them on my Steam Deck, because those are still on there. And there was a patch to make sure that it worked, the multiplayer, on the Steam Deck for those servers. So just think about that. You still got so many people playing the same type of game, different versions, and they're just out there, whether they're spending money on content or just wasting their time on it and not moving forward. Doesn't matter. They're still in that universe, the Call of Duty ecosystem. And I guess that's why they created that new hub. If you have a Call of Duty, if anyone's listening has go, they know what I'm talking about. There's that new Call of Duty hub. And you open it up, and that's where all your Call of Duties are now. They're all in one. And even the ones that you don't have installed, so that way you could do a quick install. It's like they want to keep you engaged, but then it's taking so much space for all that. It's a pain in the ass. But
are you saying they have a duty hub?
Yeah, they got a duty hub. They got on a poopy hub. But it's one of those things. I think the only way is with the numbers. The review for the campaign, not surprised, because it was really short. That was the main issue, was short, and they did a lot of that Warzone integration of all the stuff, pretty much to get people that don't play that accustomed to that gameplay style of adding plates and picking up attachments, all that stuff, and see if that works. And then if they're like, oh, I don't know about playing Warzone. Well, did you play the campaign? Yeah, it's the same shit, just like that. Oh, okay. That's what they're hoping. They're hoping that type of conversation happens. I don't know if it will. I've been playing the campaign. I don't like it. It just doesn't. And I said this off air. It's missing that Michael Bay feel. That's what made Call of Duty campaign so epic. The big explosions, the big set pieces, all the craziness happening. This is more confined. It feels more like Black Ops or the Rainbow Six series. You know, you got a small elite group. They sneak in. They do certain things. They cause some problems. You see some craziness happening off in the distance, like wars or whatever. But hey, we're extracting here. We're just trying to get somebody out. We're not involved in that, and that sucks because I want the big war. I miss. It's kind of dark to say, but the whole Call of Duty 2, the original one, not the other one, but just Normandy and all that. Just seeing the big battles, the war going on. You're running around, you're taking cover, you're falling in a hole, you're running into buildings. There's people running everywhere in the street. That's to me, that was one of the things that I kept hyping up. That I kept hoping that we would get to that point that we can have all these NPCs on screen at one time, with tanks and weapons, and we have that. And Warzone has that. That's all multiplayer, and there's a few other ones that have with NPCs and stuff. But it's not the same way they're throwing all these ads and all this other shit to buy stuff. So just to get to it, it's all comes down to money. If people are not buying, if the engagement's not there, then they're going to have to make a serious change. But I'm sure either way, they're going to try to put some of their teams that are not doing anything on Call of Duty because it's such a big IP. You want to keep that going. You want to keep it strong. And right now, that multiplayer, whether we like it or not, is very strong. People play it. They play it, and they spend a lot of money in it. And that's what matters.
Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, when the money starts running out, that's when they'll do something,
Yep.
All right, and the final question of the night. All platforms have their pluses and minuses, and all platform holders have been fucking dicks at various times. What makes you stick with your preferred platform despite everything? Probably a simple answer of the games, but is there more to it than that? Obviously, most of us are multi-platform owners, but we all have a favorite. All right. This isn't as weird because most of us own everything here,
Yeah.
So it's like,
I don't.
Yeah, I know you don't. I said most. That's what I said most of us.
You know, shit, I'm a mercenary.
I don't know. I mean, my preferred, I guess, would be the Xbox, but only because of my friends. I have so many friends on here. Old, real-world friends for like over 20, 30 years that are on here. And I get to still talk to them and hang out with them in the virtual space. And I most likely will never see them again in the real world, which is sad. So it's that. It's that when I sign in and I see these names and I can do a party chat with them, I'm like, holy shit. I was like, these are guys that I've been friends with since I was 18 and now I'm 46. And they're still here. They're in my life. So that's what really keeps me on it.
Yeah. For me, you already know my favorite is obviously PlayStation. Been on that for decades. And I'm the type of guy that firmly believes in if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm happy with the way things are going. But I also own everything. So, because I don't want to be in that position again where I'm like, I'm missing this. Like, I have access to everything. So I'm pretty much covered with my PlayStation. That's my primary. And then my PC as, the other one. And also as Xbox, and I also have a Switch, but, fuck that shit, Again, I also have fucking trophies since 2008. Got that whole list there. Got a bunch of friends like Adam, like you. Like I've known some of these guys forever.
Yeah, I know.
And yeah, man, PlayStation, that's my preferred one, but I have access to everything because I don't want to miss out. I got money now. I don't have an excuse. Manny, what about you? PlayStation default right there.
I mean, and it's not really it's really not by like pure choice. Like I wouldn't consider myself like a balls to the wall sort of PlayStation thing. Like, I don't belong to the cult of PlayStation.
Yeah.
Again, if the other platforms show me that they can produce something that produce the things that I would want to play, then I will go with that. So right now, what got me to buy a PlayStation was a Spider-Man game. So there you go.
Yeah. I will say, though, even though I still say PlayStation is my preferred platform, it's actually half and half with PC. Because I play that a lot too. And there are months where I don't even touch the PlayStation at all because there's no fucking exclusives, for months and months. So I'm just playing PC because PC gaming is fucking dope too, Yeah, Brian, we already know your favorite platform. But
I just go wherever the games I want to play exist. Like, if there's a game on Switch I want to play, I'll get a Switch and play it. If the game on PlayStation I want to play, I'll get a PlayStation and play it. That's kind of how I work. I just go with wherever the games I want to play exist. But if they exist everywhere, then I'll opt for PC, mostly because games are cheaper, and I'm a cheap bastard.
Okay. And Brett, you already answered.
Especially now.
You're a mercenary, right? You go wherever you want. I'm gonna wait for him to unmute himself.
Brett says, I go where I want to go.
I go where I want to go.
That voice. I play all the time. Like, I've played my PC, my Xbox, and my PlayStation this week, and I do most weeks. I will be honest. Game Pass has been fucking me up. I've been texting Tony. I've been like, motherfucker, this game's on Game Pass. This game's on, like, bro. My backlog on the Xbox side is exponentially longer. Like, oh my god, I have like 9 fucking games on Game Pass I want to catch up on. That shit got.
Have you played Life for P? Have you played that? Has anybody played that?
I played. Yeah, I played. I tested some of it because I was, reviewing it on Mac. The game's fucking dope. It feels a lot like Bloodborne.
He definitely has that Bloodborne feel to it.
Yeah, that's in the list, and I was like a Tiger's on there, and then the new one is on there. So, fuck, man, it's Microsoft just throwing games at me. And I'm like, I'm not done with this last one. God damn.
What that is.
Yeah, what's like a tiger?
I played I'm sorry, my brain isn't working right today.
Wait, I missed that.
Is it? Okay. Oh, okay.
What happened? What I missed?
Like a tiger.
Yeah. No. Like I said, that
like a dragon.
Yeah.
It's like a tiger. It's the Rocky game.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's that.
Eye of the Tiger.
You'll talk about Journey. What's the name of that band?
That's not
no, that wasn't Journey. That wasn't Journey.
Survivor.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, it's Survivor.
Yeah, so Survivor. That's a different band I'm singing right now.
Yeah.
Journey's good stuff. Yeah, Journey's fun. I like Journey.
They got like 5 different singers. I just found that out.
Well, right now they got the
Filipino guy, right?
The Filipinos, but he like rage quit on Twitter or some shit. Something mess with you. I'm out because one of the founding members. There's only 2 of the original members still there, and one of them had said some shit about him, or his wife said some shit, and then he tweeted back. He's like, "You don't have to talk shit about me. If you want me out of the band, just fucking kick me out. I'm ready to go." Because he's been with them since like 2007. Mm-hmm. So he's like, whatever, man. But it's amazing how they all sound like Perry. They all sound like the original guy.
Well, they want to make sure they get
yeah.
Oh yeah. Like them. Because people be pissed. People be pissed. The people be pissed if they go to a friggin' to see Journey and if the person sounds like somebody else, like a certain Don Dokken who doesn't sound like himself and says deal with it.
Yeah.
Nah, we don't need to deal with it. We just don't need to see Dokken.
Well, you can go see the other Dokken, with the rest of the band. It's hilarious, man. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thank you for joining us as always. I believe the new Invincible episode is up. The streaming reaction one, but I wasn't on it, so I'm not sure if it's up yet. But I will return next week, and Brett will be there as well, and it'll be amazing. So stay tuned for that for next week. Adam, what's going on with I'm Negans?
Carlos and us, we're all doing some other shit. So we'll be back tomorrow for episode 10 of Fear the Walking Dead. There's only a few more episodes left, so we're just going to let this one die out and get it over with. But we'll be back for episode 10 tomorrow.
Cool. All right, that's going to do it for us, Throwdown. So make sure you follow us on Twitch and Twitter. Join the Discord where the conversations and the rumors are always popping. You can also search for us on any podcast app by searching for Throwdown Show. That's 2 words, Throwdown Show. Throwdownshow.com to listen to past episodes. And if you have been watching us on the YouTubes and enjoyed the videos, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of when our premieres go live. Links to everything down below. Once again, I'm your host, Tony Polanco. And tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you next time.
Adam Vale.
Have a good week, everybody. Get ready. Thursday.
Thursday, let's go. Steam Deck.
Thursday. Damn right.
Brett Murdoch.
Deuces.
And Brian Manjoma.
Later, guys.
All right, people. You already know Thursday. Later.
Peace.
Laters.